that music, Paul. That is some good stuff.
This is my ringtone for the next 3 weeks.
I love it. So again,
I'm
you're listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170. Paul's bringing us back with the music that represents
March Madness.
One of the most unproductive work weeks of the entire year.
I'm getting a little sick. I might not be in tomorrow.
I have a feel. Yeah, we're lucky we got our show today, Jason, because producer Paul is going to be checked out for the next week.
He's got his computer. He's got his phone. You can watch nowadays. You can watch everything. You're not going to miss anything, Paul, even while you're working.
Of course not.
That's what I'm saying, though. It is known as the least productive week of work. From tomorrow, from this Thursday to the following Thursday, is the least productive work week of the entire year. Because everybody is going to be sitting there like the guy in the studio next door with their phone in front of them, with the game streaming on their cell phone while they are appearing to work. And every time their boss walks in the room, that phone's just going to flop on its face, and
we recently
nobody's going to know
did
the
a
difference.
studio upgrade in KCBQ. We now have 3 TVs for election coverage. First indicator in my mind, March Madness, baby.
Yeah. No, we got the same thing in our office. We got a couple TVs. That's the first thing tomorrow morning. We're putting on all the TV games. We'll probably have everyone will be on a different station so we can see what's going on and pause it if there's any great plays. But, with all these big schools getting in and not the mid-majors, I'm just afraid we're not going to quite see as many Cinderellas. There's always a Cinderella that shows up at the dance. Always, always, always. And there will be at least one upset tomorrow, almost guaranteed that will happen. I just don't think we're going to have 4 a day like we've had in the past 5-6 years.
Exactly. No, it's what? There is no dominant team. There's no Kentucky. There's no dominant Kansas team, although Kansas is, I think, I have them in the Final Four.
Well, I sure hope so, because in our Calcutta League last night, Kyle, I know you're not a part this year, we got Kansas.
Oh, you guys got
we
Kansas.
Got Kentucky.
Maybe I want to get back in.
You might want to we got Kansas, Kentucky, Cal is our top 3 teams, and it's an auction league where they auction off all 64 teams. And so I was at the San Diego State game, and my buddies were texting me back and forth. I told them who I liked. I wanted Michigan State, but they said, they got Kansas for the same price. So we're happy. I know Joel loves Michigan State. He's back here in the studio jumping up and down.
He can't make up his mind if he wants Michigan State or Michigan, though. Don't trust anything Joel says.
Any guy from Michigan. No
Michigan State fan would ever be caught dead wearing a Michigan shirt. It just doesn't happen.
Totally.
You're right. It doesn't happen.
And vice versa.
You're rocking Raiders gear, Jason. You're just not going to be seen. Unless you lose a bet, you're not rocking Raiders gear.
Even then, I probably wouldn't.
But if they come to San Diego, that could change.
I'm burning down the stadium now.
Exactly.
Unless it's a joint stadium.
It's going to be a wild tournament.
And I guess there will be joints in that stadium now. I think about that, right? With the Raiders.
This is going to be a wild tournament, though. There is no dominant team. Anything can happen. You can just basically pick a team out of a hat, and you have just as good a chances of winning your pool as anybody, because there's just no clear-cut great team this year.
So who are your guys' picks? Matt, you're going with Wisconsin, right? I mean, you got to represent.
Not this year. Well, I got them winning a couple games. They can, if they pull it together, they can beat a lot of teams. But yeah, who do I have in there? I have Kansas, North Carolina, probably the usual suspects. I know anyone can beat anybody. But
what do you guys think about Kentucky? I mean, they had a tough midseason. Their guys are healthy. They got a bunch of these young guys.
They also got a tough draw, though. They got to play North Carolina and
Indiana in the second round if they both win.
Yeah.
Sweet 16. You're right with North Carolina, but. Both North Carolina, well, all the top teams, they can beat anybody.
And this is where, like Michigan State, you got Izzo. He shows up every year. He gets these guys to play when it matters most. And
that's the thing with Tom Izzo. His teams not necessarily have the best regular season, but he builds his teams and he coaches his teams to be ready to play in March every single year. That's why they're always in the Elite 8, Sweet 16, Final Four every single year. It's because Tom Izzo is just a heck of a coach.
Paul, who else we picked up was Texas. And who's their coach now at Texas?
Shaka Smart.
Shaka Smart was at VCU.
Yeah.
And he got that team in there like back-to-back years. People were shocked.
Yeah, in 2011, they went from the first 4 to the Final Four. So.
Right. So, again, it's all about coaching, getting guys hot at the right time. So it's going to be fun watching.
So who are you guys picking?
My Final Four, I have Kansas, Oregon, North Carolina, and Michigan State.
I had Michigan State in my pool, but now that my team drafted Kansas, I'm taking Kansas because I've got some money on the line on that.
Yeah, national championship, I have North Carolina and Kansas, and I have North Carolina winning it all.
Really? North Carolina's been too inconsistent this year. I don't think they can string
together.
But
the ACC
they got the best players.
They were so tough this year. Duke, they should have beat Duke twice. Duke stole one of the games against North Carolina and went through that very, very tough ACC with Miami, Duke, and Virginia. So I like North Carolina. Plus, you got Roy Williams. Not going to bet against him. He's another guy that coaches his teams to play well in March and early April.
And who do you got, Kyle?
Kansas all day.
Kansas
looks unstoppable. I think they've got the most powerful team out there. They're going to dominate.
There's a couple powerful
Nobody
teams.
dominated their conference championship like Kansas. Kansas is coming in hot. You got to ride that momentum.
As much as I like Bill Self and I think he's a good coach, he tends to kind of choke in the big games.
He does choke.
Well, let's talk about a guy who didn't choke, and he's still flying under the radar. I brought him up earlier because I was mixing his name up, Winston Shepard. I don't know how he could ever do that. Because this guy probably is the greatest Aztec basketball player. And that's a lot. When Tony Gwynn played basketball, people don't even realize that. Michael Cage, they played together. People don't even realize the assist leader, I think, that Tony Gwynn still is for the San Diego State basketball team. But Kawhi Leonard has a great article on Sports Illustrated. If you guys want that, you can hit us up at 619-663-7355 or just Google it. But Kawhi Leonard is a stud, Kyle. And people don't even realize how great he is as far as the regular fan. True basketball fans know that he's a freak. He's like 6'7", 6'8". He's got a wingspan of like 7 foot. He can cover LeBron James, shut him down. And that's how he became the NBA MVP a couple years ago when they won. He shut down LeBron. Nobody else can shut him down. He shut down Kobe. He shut down
Durant.
Carmelo. He shut down Durant. Westbrook. I mean, anybody this guy covers, they don't make shots because he's just a freak. Yep. And he's just a quiet guy. So part of the article is this guy makes $94 million contract. He still drives a 97 Tahoe.
That he was driving in high school.
He's just fixed up. It's called the gas guzzler. You read that article. And he still gets free coupons to go get wings. The guy gets upset when he loses his coupons. I mean, he's just a regular average Joe making $94 million and shutting down the best basketball players in the world. And most average people don't even know Kawhi Leonard.
I think Kawhi needs to give you some of that $94 million to play with, Matt.
Sounds like he's got a good financial planner already.
I guess mom's on it, man.
Yeah, his mom's on it. As long as he has the right advice, the right counsel. Not enough athletes do, and you see these stories, and the majority of them are the bad stories.
Right? Like Iverson, a guy who made over $100 million, has nothing.
So when somebody's, Matt, I mean, being somebody that advises people on how to manage their wealth, when somebody's got $94 million contract, yet they're still pinching pennies to save, a couple bucks on some chicken wings.
Right.
Like, what the hell are they doing with the rest of that money?
And that brings up another point. Like, there's still some psychological issues that he has around money, having to clip coupons that he needs to figure out. You shouldn't be afraid to spend a little bit and enjoy some of it now.
Well, he's not actually cutting coupons. Just people understand in the article.
Well, he's printing them because he doesn't. They get newspapers
gave him
anymore.
Right. So he endorsed them, and so they gave him some free coupons, but he had to have the coupons. He had lost them, and he was kind of upset. They gave him some more free ones, so he's not cutting them. But he's one of those guys that's like, why do I want to spend $8 if they're going to be free?
Yep.
I mean, let's think about even parking here. It drives us crazy if I got to pay for parking if I can validate it and get it free. It's not that $8 is going to kill me, but it's like it seems to me as a waste if I can get it free.
Plus, if you own the Wingstop in San Antonio, don't you want Kawhi Leonard sitting in your bar eating chicken wings?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's probably good for business.
Yeah.
He probably goes through the drive-thru, though, because he doesn't like to talk to too many people.
Right.
He doesn't want to be the big star. He just wants to be the best basketball player ever, but he doesn't want to be on the red carpet. He doesn't want to be on all the advertisement. Yeah. He's happy. And then there's just one of those few ducks that there's not a lot of sports athletes are that way. Most guys are like Winston Shepard who think they're great and thought he would be a one and done, and now he's going to be lucky to make Europe or the WNBA.
So. The WNBA.
I said he might be playing for the Sparks
next year. He's not even making the D League, Jason. He's going WNBA.
He's going WNBA. But he's just not a tough guy.
Yeah.
He thinks he's tough. He's just not tough. If you watch him play, he won't play tough.
He's a girl, yeah. So, Matt, what does somebody do? $94 million contract. Somebody comes to you.
He's got to just be conservative. There's no reason for these guys to bite off more than they can chew. They don't need to take more risk, and that's so many of them are going to, build restaurants and do a lot of this fancy stuff. He doesn't need to do anything fancy. He just needs to preserve what he's got.
Do any athletes make money buying restaurants, by the way?
Peyton Manning.
None.
Peyton Manning
these guys,
and
very few.
Papa John's.
Very few. But you see him.
See, he already took an existing one, and he's being more of an endorser of it.
Franchises.
Right? Bought a bunch of franchises. He's doing it wise. But most of these guys starting brand new restaurants, putting their name on it lose everything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at Sal. When Sal passed, the first thing they did was shut down his restaurant. He's losing money every month for years on it.
Well, they did us a favor because the food was terrible there.
It was pretty terrible.
Oh, my goodness.
Pizzas were good.
Or it's music videos, or their music production, or it's video games, and it's a lot of them. Kurt Schilling of the Red Sox lost hundreds of millions of dollars. It's like you don't need to take this much risk. You just need to preserve what you have and generate a little bit of income and know what's enough for you, and not do anything stupid.
That's sage financial advice. Just don't do anything stupid. Sometimes
That's
it could
crazy.
just be that easy, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I love it. Well, awesome show today, guys. Again, we had Matt Rinkey with Illumination Wealth, Jason Hall, Team Home Loans, myself, Kyle Whissel with Whissel Realty. If you ever want to connect with myself or any of the guests on the show, shoot us a text, give us a call, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We'll see you next Wednesday.
So baby, let me know. Girl, I'm gonna show you how to do it, and we start real slow. You just